Okay, so quadratic formula, which says this, okay, the equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0 if and only if x is one of the two numbers you get from this expression that you're familiar with, okay? Can be applied to solve this equation very easily. We use the quadratic formula, and I believe you understand that a would be 1 because a is the number in front of x squared. There's no 1 in front of there, but there could be. So implicitly there's a 1 there. And b equals 2, and c equals 3. Okay?
Okay.
So, plugging 2 in for b, we get a 2 there. We have our plus or minus, we have the square root, and we have 2 squared. Okay? And that's the only b's that we have. Well, now we have a and c. A is 1 and c is 3. So 4ac is 4 times 1 times 3, which is 12. And then that's divided by 2 times a, which is 2 times 1. Okay? So, x equals -2 plus or minus the square root of, well, 2 squared is 4, 4 minus 12 is -8. And then that's over 2. Okay? Now, square root of -8, how can you simplify that? Well, square root of -8 equals the square root of 8 times the square root of -1. And the square root of -1 is I. Okay? We'll get that in a minute. And factor out the biggest square as we've done. Biggest square being 4, right? So now we can take the square root of that, and we get 2 times the square root of 2 times I. Okay? So square root of -8 is 2 square root of 2 times I. Okay? That equals -2 over 2 plus or minus 2 times the square root of 2 over 2 times I. Okay? Now people will cross out this 2 and one of these, or maybe even this one, get rid of the square root. You can't do that. There's no law of mathematics that allows you to cross things out. Okay?
All right.
There's a distributive law. This is just the numerator multiplied by 1/2. When you multiply this by 1/2, you get this times 1/2, which is this, and this times 1/2, which gives you this. Okay? You don't put just one of them over 2, and you don't cross anything out unless you really understand the rules. You can only cross out factors. Okay? Now, your instructor in your pre-calculus course will decide how she wants to approach that, and of course you use that approach, but this is the reason for whatever she does. So you have -1 plus or minus the square root of 2i. Okay? Now, your solutions, you have 2 of them, one for the plus, one for the minus. Okay? Now what I'd like you to do is multiply those two solutions and see what you get.
You get -2 either way, wouldn't you?
Huh?
Wouldn't you get -2 either way?
I don't think so. So, what I want you to do is you get -1 plus the square root of 2i. Now, keep wanting to put an arrow over that because of physics. You don't need to worry about that. So see what you got.